Hey gang, Revol here. So I accidentally ran a solo flawless this morning, and I thought the footage might actually be a really useful thing for less experienced players to look at. And the reason being for that is that I was very lazy with my damage. I played like garbage, like you can see right here, and generally just me playing safe, playing my life, and focusing on surviving over killing got me through this in a 50-minute solo flawless, which is not that bad in terms of a solo flawless duration. So I wanted to give a live commentary and basically just walk through what happened here, point out how I played real silly and how it wound up okay. And this is something I, couldn't have even imagined doing, 6 months ago. So generally just want to walk through this in a live commentary, and I'll show you what I'm doing. You'll notice basically through the entire run I'm running Lord of Wolves, I'm running some auto rifle, and then usually an eager edge. I think I probably could have committed to just using an auto rifle, a linear fusion, and Lord of Wolves for the whole thing, but maybe another video. So we're going into Verthil, and I usually play this corner, and the big thing that I'll be doing through this is I'm going to leave a lot of the red bars alive, because I know with Skullfort I can just thunderclap them, get all my health back, get my thunderclap back, and I'm good to go. Nothing too exciting happening here. Keep my eyes on the red bars. I want to get my amplified right before damage to make sure I'm safe. Rip the super. I'm not bothering any Cura swap. And then literally just sitting there with bolt charge and mag dumping. Nothing to it. I think that was my best damage phase in the whole fight. And it's going to get a lot goofier after that. A little bit of eager edge tracking issue. No big deal, no big deal. Just play my life and reset for the next phase. One of the reasons I love Lord of Wolves for this fight in particular is that the damage phases happen so fast. You don't really get a ton of time to farm up super or farm up heavy ammo. And with special, you never have any issues with that. This one, the circles are close enough that I'm able to hit both at the same time. Again, just keep my eyes out for any of those red bars. And way late to damage on this one, coming at him with a sword. No big deal. We'll get through it. There's no timer. Yep, scuffed damage phase. You can keep going. I think this winds up being four phases, which isn't great. Not getting any awards for that, but we did get through it, right? I went to get a little bit of that timer started because I had the window. No real need to. Around this point, I'm realizing that I'm not going to get both of these totems activated for this damage phase. And definitely, if I couldn't before, I couldn't then. So we go in, we take the damage we can get. Whiff a grenade, no super, it's fine. Get some health back off that thunderclap, go back into damage. Hey, we're that much closer to the end of the health bar. Nothing fancy. Thunderclap my way through every problem. Read that one wrong. Punch it out. We'll go into our fourth and final damage phase in a minute here. I started to shoot that guy, then realized I could turn him into health, so I did so. Just worried about taking too much damage, so I step back, rip the T-crash, and then go back in when I got more health. There we go, nice and easy. Wasn't pretty, no awards, but we got it done, and it was not particularly scary. Alright, I'm going to fast forward through this traversal, and I'll see you all at the next boss fight. Alright, here we are. If you saw me make a whole bunch of mistakes in that traversal, no you didn't. And here we go. Alright, so here you'll have me looking at various loadouts that I think might work for this. I'm going to hard commit to doing the Lord of Wolves thing here after maybe thinking about Queenbreaker. And you'll see I stick to Lord of Wolves through the entire run here from here on out. Basically, my only considerations here is I want something that pops the eyes real easily, and then I need something to do damage. So that's going to be Lord of Wolves, and I'm eventually going to settle on I think Eyes Just Care is just a way to pop the eyes. Could be anything. Could have just stuck with Rufus and I would have been fine too. It is a little nice to have an Eager Edge sword here, just because the Ogre will occasionally beam you off the cliff, and having a way to get back without spending a super or something else that's really expensive is a nice thing to have. So bear with me while I'm making some decisions here, and then we'll get started in just a moment. Alright, so you'll see that I start with Camille's here. I'm looking for something that pops the eyes really easily at range. Turns out this wasn't it. I swapped to Eyes Just Care afterwards and found better success with that. Probably would have been fine running Rufus's like I was before, but doesn't really matter too much one way or another. Usually play the left side. It's generally safer there in my experience. And you'll see I mostly just hang out and thunderclap to keep my health up. Way too slow. See when I give up. Yeah, right there. No thank you. I used to be a lot more concerned about taking those Minotaurs out early. I don't find them that dangerous anymore. Probably didn't need to get that close to the edge, looking at this in retrospect, but I did have Eager Edge to get back on. I had Thunder Crash to get me back on. And with these chieftains, I usually want to pop them down low early. With this one, he dropped his totem so fast that I swapped right to Lord of Wolves and started burning him down. Grabbed a little bit of heat off of the torch there, and I just kept my eye on biting cold and let these totems finish out. This time around, I looked to see if there was anything on the other side that I could grab. Really not necessary, and would not have even given me a shorter rotation. I'm going to start damage on the back right side, so I'm going to dunk on the left side first. I usually try and run as I'm dunking, and then also use the torch as safety while I'm dunking. I don't know why I was doing that then. Second one in, we go for the next round of dunks. Just hitting buttons, and it's fine. I'm playing my life. I'm not in any danger. I can be as silly as I want to, as long as I'm not dying. I realized here that I'm playing the wrong side, so you'll see me transition across. And right back to camping that chieftain. This guy takes forever, and I get away with something that I probably shouldn't have been able to get away with. I think 9 times out of 10, when you get bad luck like this, you just take the one totem and you go for one more round of these. Not the end of the world. I wait for as long as I can manage waiting, and then I just decide to burn it down. Grab my heat, and you'll hear the totem pop. Yep, so I know another totem dropped on the other side, and I'm going to go look for that as soon as this completes. And I'm going to grab heat along the way, because managing biting cold is the most important thing right now. Looking for a little green, found it there. Gonna realize that I don't like that Minotaur as I'm dunking, and you'll see me wrestling with whether or not I actually need to deal with it or not. Yeah, I give in. Alright, and here's my last dunk and damage. You'll see it's really straightforward. I probably should have opened with a Thunder Crash. You'll see I do a little bit of Lord of Wolvesing first. But generally I want to keep myself behind that barricade, pop bolt charge as much as I can because of the healing. I like to grab health off those thralls between waves. And you'll see that I set up with another barricade. I'm out of range, so I'll be ADSing a bit here. Throw a thunderclap anytime I see my health get low. I'm also going to be keeping an eye on my motion tracker, trying to figure out where the nearest thralls are. Grab a little health off these guys. Go for my next round. Trying to get as many crits as I can, but playing my life above everything else. It's okay to do suboptimal damage as long as you're alive. Alright, on our last one, I grabbed green ammo on the way, which was nice. I could have just used my primary and bolt charge, or my sword if he got close. There's my first damage phase. Pretty solid. So I was looking at this thinking, man, I've got a real shot for a 2-phase on this, and spoiler alert, this was not a 2-phase. But what it did do is set me up really good for success for a 3-phase without any pressure on me. So you'll see in a little bit, I have some issues that occurred during my second damage phase, and I'm very composed through the whole thing because I know that I'm fine for just 3 phases. No big deal, no big deal. Definitely just sort of moving around here, not taking anything too serious. You'll see this time around, the chieftain doesn't want to cooperate with me. And I end up sort of lucking into a cross map. Definitely not the gun for this, but it was fine. Again, getting rid of my biting cold. I realized there I was playing it a little too aggressive, doubled back. Would rather have to do another phase than die. Was lucky enough to pull it off. Again, I'm just looking for ammo, hanging out. Same dunking strategy as last time, starting on the left, I'm gonna go right next. So I finally got one to cooperate with me there. Got a little sketchy there, thought about pulling my sword out. Minotaur again, I address it faster this time. Thought I needed that green brick that was on the ground, but realized I was full. Hopefully I remember that later, we'll see. And damage. I sequenced my abilities a lot better that time around. I was trying to give myself some more time to get my barricade up, but I ended up just letting him get to the fire sooner, so I had basically no damage there. And he's too far away here when I start doing damage, so I'm stuck with this right click. I've got no bolt charge, I'm low on ammo, everything kind of stinks. I bail to give myself at least the amplified buff to work with. Found the ammo that I mentioned earlier. And just sort of cash out whatever else I can get from Lord of Wolves here. Sword is nice, but not really a key part of the strategy. And there we go. Not 2 phases, but a very comfy 3 phase. I'm going to fast forward the last phase here, and then just give a quick explainer on what I'm doing with the traversal before I fast forward through that too. Alright, so the ogre is down. I'm going to do a few loadout swaps in the traversal here. Notably, I'm going to go to Icebreaker just to help kill the wizards better. It worked for me. I think it's a reasonable swap to do, kind of whatever makes this traversal comfy. For me, having a sword is generally really important because there's a lot of places you can fall here, and having that hero sword really keeps you safe. But generally, whatever you need is fine, and I'm also just going to fast forward through this because there's not too much for me to point out about these fights. Alright, and we're getting to happened here. I will be doing some loadout swaps back to Lord of Wolves. I elect for a linear fusion rifle because I'm worried that Lord of Wolves won't actually have the range. I was a little surprised to find out that you actually can get the Lord of Wolves damage at kind of all damage points here. So I'll do that swap. And if memory serves, I did not use the linear fusion too much here. There's a few things that I want to point out in this fight, and I'm probably not going to narrate the whole thing because it's a lot of the same through the whole thing. I'm going to be looking to keep these taken scions around as a way to get health. I'm going to be looking to burn down the wizards as much as I can. And I'm not going to push the damage phases until those wizards are down. The other thing to be aware of is this is a long fight, and I think if you haven't done a solo before, it's easy enough to get used to the speed with which a fight goes when you're in like a full fire team. This is a long endeavor, so you just got to be emotionally prepared to be here for the long haul because that's what it's going to take to get through it. And as long as you're doing damage, you're progressing the dungeon, and you're going to be okay. For that one, I missed a kill on a thunderclap, which is going to be a huge issue for me. I'm going to play my life a little harder because I don't have a safe way of getting health back. And turns out it did not turn into an issue, but boy, that makes your heart drop when you see it. I'm playing the white mechanic over everything here, and then I'll lock in for damage. Full charge healing is just massive. There we go. That's all the damage we got out of it. But we can keep doing that until he's gone. Alright. I am not going to be speaking again unless something jumps out. I played this with some timidity, and you'll see that it really scuffs this damage phase. And again, this is just reinforcing my point that if you're playing your life among or above anything else, you're going to be in good shape. So here I am, I've got no great way to get my health back, I'm playing safe. I see the floor turn dark here, which I didn't really even expect that we were going to be there, so I'm a little confused. And if I jump here to get a little more damage in, and we're back to business as usual. hope this run really made it clear that you don't need to be the best player of all time to get this done. You just need to play your life and take your time. And I encourage anyone that's curious about starting your solo flawless journey to just go ahead and give it a go. It's going to take a while, but it's really, really satisfying and really fulfilling. Feel free to reach out to me if you've got any questions, or if you're interested in joining a clan that's supportive. I'll highlight our information here at the end and leave some information in the comments. Thanks, everyone.